Billionaires from around the world are investing, well, billions, into building what they believe the future's cities should look like. At this point, you've probably heard of NEOM, Saudi Arabia's $500 billion city, or Belmont, Bill Gates' $18 billion city. But wait till you hear there is yet another crazy billionaire who has joined on the moving train. Serial entrepreneur and former CEO of Walmart Marc Lore has announced he's on a mission to build Telosa, a city of his own in the middle of a desert, and he promises this city will feature the best out of all bests.
That's our North Star, and that'll never change. What we're trying to do is combine sort of the best of different cities in the world and bring it together. So if you think about Telosa being as vibrant and diverse as a New York City, combined with efficiency, safety, and cleanliness of a city like Tokyo, combined with the social services and sustainability and the governance model of a city like Stockholm.
Join us as we explore this one-of-a-kind futuristic city. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so YouTube will specially notify you the next time we upload a new video. Lore first introduced Telosa to the world in 2021. This whole idea of a utopian city has since left a series of questions in the minds of all. Not because Telosa would be the first city to be built from scratch in a deserted desert land, but because everything Marc Lore and his team have promised so far sounds too good to be true. The name Telosa stems from the word telos, a term coined by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, meaning the highest purpose. Like other similar projects in the world, the primary aim of this city is to solve one of the most lingering problems in big cities, congestion and pollution, by totally banning the use of fossil fuel vehicles and placing a limit on the number of residents in the Green City. Even though its location is yet to be finalized, the city is planned to be constructed on an inexpensive desert terrain, with potential locations being Utah, Nevada, Idaho, Arizona, Texas, and the Appalachian region in the United States. Telosa's layout would have an urban design and transportation infrastructure that would allow residents to constantly be within a 15-minute trip from their homes to central locations like schools, workplaces, and hospitals, similar to Saudi Arabia's $500 billion NEOM project. For a city like Telosa, which will be built from scratch, the project's planners estimate the total building cost of the 200,000-acre city to be $400 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. Billions, not millions. Funds for this project will come from various sources, including private investors, philanthropists, federal and state grants, and subsidies for economic development. The building process of this utopian city would be in two phases. At the end of Phase 1, in 2030, the city will be able to house 50,000 diverse people over an area of 6 square kilometers. Then, roughly 40 years later, it will be home to 5 million people, thereby completing the second phase. The mastermind behind the architectural design of Telosa was Danish architect Bjarke Ingels, the same genius who developed the famous Denmark Pavilion at Shanghai Expo in China. According to the digital rendering provided by Bjarke and his team, a skyscraper called the Equitism Tower will be erected in the lush central park of the city. This sight of beauty would bring visitors and residents together and serve as a beacon for Telosa. The Equitism Tower would be wide and tall enough to house elevated water reservoirs, a photovoltaic roof, an observation deck, and aeroponic farms supplying the city with fresh produce. Since one of the major missions of Telosa is to build a sustainable futuristic city, Marc Lore and his team are extra mindful of the environment and are big on the idea of cleanliness. For this project, the city will feature an underground movement system to safely transport waste materials and debris. To further protect the atmosphere, Telosa will ban the use of fossil fuel-powered cars, and residents would be allowed to use bikes and scooters as well as slow-moving autonomous electric cars, protecting the air quality of the city. But due to the desert location of Telosa, water scarcity may pose a challenge. However, Marc Lore and his team have implemented a clever water system that combats drought by storing, purifying, and reusing fresh water. Furthermore, residential green buildings will have solar panels on their roofs, providing renewable energy from the sun. And as icing on the cake, Telosa will run on a fair and democratic modern-day government that will set a global standard for urban living and eventually become a role model for future utopian cities. It's no secret that life in Telosa would be a luxurious experience mixed with an unending, fascinating, lush feeling. On completion, the city of Telosa will be as vibrant and diverse as New York City, as efficient, safe, and clean as Tokyo, and to top it all off, Telosa would be as sustainable and well-governed as the city of Stockholm. Lore and his team promised that this utopian city would be the most open, the most fair, and the most inclusive city in the world. Not only would this megacity scream perfection, but also the first of its kind to ever exist. Well, that is, if it's ever built. Because one of the major challenges in creating a utopian city is ensuring equitable distribution of resources and opportunities among members of its society, which could lead to a situation where only a few benefit, rather than promoting fairness. But that's what makes Telosa stand out from the other dozens of proposed utopian cities. Telosa will retain ownership of the land while allowing residents to construct and sell houses. As the city develops, the expectation is that the value of the land will increase and the profits will be invested back into the Telosa Foundation to provide equal access to essential amenities such as healthcare, education, parks, secure streets, and transportation, thereby promoting an unbiased environment where all the citizens can prosper together. This is equitism.
What if you can pay the same taxes that you pay today, but get the best social services of any country in the world? That's equitism.
In all this possible perfection, there's a big question mark, as many utopian cities have been proposed, but to date, none have been realized, leaving many to fear that Telosa will end up as just another city in our minds. However, we'd like to know what you think in the comments section. Will Telosa end up another imaginary city, or will it become a reality? If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to our channel. And thank you so much for watching.